Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing some tank testing, or well, demonstrating the results of the tank testing I've already done, based on doctrines. We're going to see how each doctrine matches up against each other when using the same tanks. For the tanks themselves, this isn't trying to be the best tank you can build, it's just trying to be a tank that's not controversial in how it's built. Improved medium cannon, 3-man turret, advanced radio, a little bit of reliability, some free defense. I did try to give them a little bit better defense than normal. And then riveted armor, just to be cheap. 14.5 IC is not an expensive tank. Can you make it cheaper? Yes, but it's not an expensive tank. TD, same idea, but threw on 2 small cannons and the improved high velocity cannon, just for more stats. Again, trying to keep the reliability decent. I did put stuff on my flame tank. The IC you spend on a flame tank is as cost effective as the IC you spend on your regular tank, because it's proportional. Now, that doesn't make it worth putting armor on it, but putting breakthrough on it is just fine. You don't have to. You can just go for the cheapest medium flame tank you want. You can. But we've done this. We tried to get a little bit of breakthrough. This is primarily for the non-mobile warfare doctrines, but I use the same tanks for all of them. And then the light tank, which is literally just for breakthrough. And I gave it a basic high velocity cannon to try and not bring down the piercing of the division too much. Again, reliability does not matter. So we're using a basic 9 and 6. And by 9, I mean 2 medium tank destroyers, 7 medium tanks, 6 mechanized. Logistics engineers, AA, armored recon, flame tanks. And medium flame tanks do provide the best percent bonuses, so I would recommend using them. So let's just do a support attack here. I don't actually want to move into the tile, I just want to attack the tile. And we're going to see how this goes. This is mobile warfare attacking mobile warfare, superior firepower, grand battle plan, and then mass assault. And what we're going to find is attacking into planes, they're going to win each battle. And if we come and look at the losses, they lost the most against mobile warfare, but mobile warfare also loses the most. I have a spreadsheet with more detailed results than this, but we're just going to do a little high overview here. The rest, mass assault causes a little bit less than grand battle plan and superior firepower. Let me go through and reset this, and we will do this again with superior firepower. While we're waiting for grand battle plan to get all of their entrenchment, because they get tons of entrenchment, I would like to point out that we are using full planning bonus, full entrenchment, which is benefiting grand battle plan the most because it gets the biggest bonuses from it. Oh, I am using the army spirit that they get. For superior firepower, we are going to go left at the bottom. It provides the bigger bonus for tanks. So let's do the support attack again. And we're going to find grand battle plan looks a little dicey, but it does win each time. That was actually the worst combat I've seen of all of them, but it does still win. But they took a lot of losses in that one. That one's actually not indicative of how the rest of the results went. If you actually look, we took less losses across the board than mobile warfare. Alrighty, we'll swap to grand battle plan. We're going to go grand battle plan left. Why left? Left does provide the bigger bonuses for tanks, and it gives you the breakthrough tactic, which is great. Alrighty, so let's attack with grand battle plan, and let's see how this goes. So we are going to again win across the board. And if we look, we took next to no losses against both superior firepower and mass assault. Grand battle plan is going to inflict the most losses against us, and mobile warfare inflicted a decent amount, but if you look at their numbers, they're taking a lot of losses themselves. So let's continue on to mass assault, and we'll get into why I used a different template for mass assault than everyone else. So first off, for mass assault, I am going to use operational reserves. This is going to reduce your losses. It's 10% more HP, which means you don't lose as much equipment per HP loss you take. Now, for these guys, if we look at their 9 and 6, they only have 31 org. A mobile warfare division will have 50% more org than you. If you use instead a 8 and 7, you're up to 34, which is more in line with superior firepower grand battle plan, and it's not that detrimental. Alright, so let's attack across the board. And these combats usually look a little sketchy to start off with, but they do win 3 of the 4. Mobile warfare loses, superior firepower loses, and mass assault loses. Grand battle plan actually wins. So that's this one here. Belgium is grand battle plan, they win. Mass assault will, generally speaking, beat mobile warfare, superior firepower, and mass assault on the offensive with an 8 and 7. If we swap these guys to the 9 and 6 variant and attack grand battle plan again, they're still going to lose. So we're going to attack with the 9 and 6 into the grand battle plan now, and we're going to find it also loses. It tends to push a tank off the tile, so you could probably repeatedly attack and win, but you won't win the first battle. So what have we shown? We've shown that mobile warfare, superior firepower, grand battle plan, when you get your planning bonus, you can beat any doctrine. Mass assault will struggle against grand battle plan, but will beat the other 3. But what about the IC losses? Because that's pretty important. So I've, recorded a whole bunch of these battles and made this nice little table at the bottom. So when attacking, Grand Battle Plan, when you give it its full planning bonus, loses way less IC. Mass Assault, because we're only using 8 tanks rather than the 9, you're going to be losing a lot less IC when defending. Even though the cost of your divisions is about the same. It's not a substantial cost decrease, but your IC losses when defending are quite a bit lower. Hold on, I'm going to make 2 average columns. Okay. So this column is your average losses when defending. This is defending and then attacking 4 times. Mobile Warfare takes the most IC losses. Why? It has the most org. This is actually expected. If you're going to lose each battle, and that will happen in planes, you will lose in planes when defending against tanks, with tanks. Mobile Warfare has the most org, which means it needs to take the most damage to lose. So losing on the defensive as Mobile Warfare is expensive. And you're actually not losing substantially less IC when attacking. That's not quite 10% less. And on average, if you're attacking 4 times and defending 4 times, Mobile Warfare is taking the most losses because all Mobile Warfare tanks are org sticks with a lot of breakthrough, but their battles last longer because they don't have the additional stats. Superior Firepower provides 20% soft attack and hard attack to its tanks. Grand Battle Plan provides an additional 30% planning bonus and then 20% breakthrough. So Grand Battle Plan works very well, but it's very static. I'm still not recommending Grand Battle Plan for tanks. Like if your job is tanks, don't do Grand Battle Plan. But if your job is a mixture of holding infantry and tanks, Grand Battle Plan can be very good. Like for the Soviet Union. One of the multiplayer metas for the Soviet Union is to go Grand Battle Plan, and it will work for you quite well. You could go Mass Assault though, especially because you're probably going up against a Germany that is using Mobile Warfare. The countries that are likely to go Mass Assault are never going to go up against a Grand Battle Plan country. They're likely to go up against Mobile Warfare or Superior Firepower. Mass Assault can beat those. They don't beat them well, but they do win. Honestly, in vanilla, I would consider going Superior Firepower for any country that actually gets reductions to Superior Firepower, is you will not actually finish your doctrine prior to the war. When you go Mobile Warfare, you get so many cost reductions, you just power through your doctrine with ease. It makes it very hard for Germany to swap doctrines, but everyone else can. Italy can use tanks as well while going Grand Battle Plan for its infantry. One thing that can also get banned is Grand Battle Plan users are not allowed to get tanks. You can't expeditionary them tanks. That's because when you expeditionary tanks, you keep the base stats, so whatever stats you have here, but you get the other country's planning bonus and entrenchment. So what you can do is someone who has superior firepower gets the 20% bonuses on tanks for soft attack and hard attack, and then you expeditionary somebody with Grand Battle Plan, and Grand Battle Plan will keep those base stats, those base 20% bonuses, but then it'll also apply its own planning bonus. It wouldn't have the 30% base planning bonus, it'd have 60. So you can stack those bonuses through using expeditionary forces. Basically every server that's come across that does ban it, and you're just not allowed to expeditionary force tanks to Grand Battle Plan. Anyways, what would I recommend for tanks? I don't hate the idea of superior firepower tanks. If I'm going tanks as the US, I stick to superior firepower. Mass Assault isn't horrible. Grand Battle Plan is very inflexible. It'll work great in single player. In multiplayer, you're going to run into the problem of you're not necessarily always going to have your planning bonus or your entrenchment, at which case you kind of don't have the same stats that these two have. It's not very good in that regard. Maybe we might see some people stop using Mobile Warfare so much because you have to defend with your tanks. The enemy is going to attack your tanks with their tanks, and boy, does Mobile Warfare lose a lot of IC when that happens. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.